Yo, what's up, guys? Joker bringing you another video for the 3.25 Settlers of Kalguur League. Since we are 3.5 weeks through the league, I wanted to make a video going over things that I would like to see go core about SOK, right? I feel like there is a high potential for a few things to go core, and I'm going to explain why. And then I also believe that there's a chance that a lot of things aren't going to go core, and I'm going to go explain why, right? So, right off the bat, the first thing that I believe is going core, regardless if King's March goes core or not, is going to be gold. Gold is such a good currency that we can use for so many things. It can be so easily tied into almost any league mechanic that I feel like gold is going to be something that we want to test out more, right? Because that's essentially what it was, is we wanted to test it before PoE2, and we still have, honestly, probably a while before PoE2. So I can see them wanting to keep gold in the game so they can go ahead and continue to test it. Obviously, different league mechanics are going to interact with it differently, but I have a strong feeling that gold is here to stay, right? I have a strong feeling that it's pretty much going core because it can just be tied to so many things super easily. Up next, we have Faustus the Financier, right? I feel like he's going core because, in my opinion, he's not even really directly tied to the league mechanic. He's just a bunch of features that GGG wanted to test out anyways. And this is just the NPC that they added to test those features. As an example, like the respec with gold, the currency exchange, those are things that GGG has been planning on adding anyways, because respecking has always been a point of contention where a lot of people are unhappy with like how hard it was to respec. Respecialization with gold makes it significantly easier and way friendlier to new players. So and way easier for you to respec during the campaign. So I have a feeling that that's going to stay, the gold's going to stay, and the currency exchange is something that they've been working on for a really long time. Plus, it's another test for PoE too, right? So these three things are like a 99.9% uh going to stay, right? Sorry, I guess I had a mini stroke there or something. But they're 99% going to stay because they're features that GGG wanted to go ahead and test and is planning on testing before PoE2, and the response from them has been overwhelmingly positive. I haven't really seen anything negative about the currency exchange, the gold respec. I've seen some things negative about gold, but it's more that you don't get enough of it. But that's purely because of King's March. That has nothing to do with the currency exchange, right? If you were just using gold for the currency exchange, you would have plenty of gold, right? And it does go ahead and it deters bots because it is going to make it so they have to have X amount of gold for them to actually dump all of their items. So there would have to be either a slowdown or just pretty much a lot of bots stepping back, right? It would be a player driven market because on the trade site, it would primarily be bots, but on the currency exchange, it would be primarily players because you'd have to be able to manage the amount of gold that you got. So, those three things, once again, I'm 99.9% sure, even if SOK doesn't go core, those things are going to go core, right? Up next, we have the rune smithing. Honestly, it's probably not going core. If SOK doesn't go core in its entirety, then I know for a fact that rune smithing is not going to. The only thing that I can think of is if they add the runes as drops in Expedition, which thematically would make sense, right? With the story of Kalguur, the Kalguric ruins, right? Danning's already right here. So it would make sense if they add it to like Expedition. But if they don't add SOK as a core mechanic, I don't see you being able to get enough runes to really take advantage of runesmithing, unless, like I said, they add runes as a currency drop to the core drop pool or tie it directly to expedition, which would make expedition even more rewarding, even though it's already like one of the most rewarding things. Then we have shipping, right? Honestly, I don't think should go core. Shipping is literally a pure slot machine. There's really no good part of shipping, in my opinion. It's the worst part of King's March by far. I have over 100 hours in this league, and oh, I have over 200 hours in this league, and um, I've never enjoyed shipping, right? I've seen some people with the argument that, oh, you get decent items, or oh, people have gotten mirror shards, or oh, people have gotten mirrors. Okay, counter argument. I've gotten mirror shards from Harbinger, and I've gotten a mirror from a white mob in a Guardian Kirak map. Should you should I advocate people go do that? No. It's all RNG and it's all luck at the end of the day, right? So it's not really a good mechanic. The amount of investment that it takes to be even remotely rewarding is way too much, in my opinion. Um, Honestly, after this nerf, because that's what it is, it's a nerf. Um, you used way too many resources and way too much thaumaturgic dust. This is coming from the point of having a maxed out King's March with all T10 farmers, right? So, like, and pretty much all T9 and T10 shippers. Honestly, some of them have died, and I haven't even been bothered to reroll because gold is not enough, right? But we're going to move on from that. Shipping, it has to go hand in hand if SOK goes core. Otherwise, you don't have the materials to send. And in my opinion, it's a bad mechanic. So, Rog the Disenchanter, right? I have a strong feeling that this is something else that could go core. If you take away the workers and just set the time statically to what it would be like if you had a T6 set of T6 workers, then you would be able to go ahead and move this over relatively seamlessly. I feel like this, much like Faustus, isn't really directly tied to King's March, and it is a good item sync that we could use. All you would need to use is gold, right? You would use gold to power ROG, and essentially, this gives us an item sync for unique items that you would have never normally picked up, right? This gives us an item sync for a bunch of trash uniques. It adds value to a lot of items. Now your in-game filter is going to include things like T1 and T2 uniques, which previously it never would have. It has you picking up a lot more uniques. It has a lot more uniques actually holding a value. So overall, I feel like it's something that could be moved over to the core game relatively seamlessly, right? Then we have Recombination. I feel like Recombination does have a place in Path of Exile in the core game, as long as they bring over Thaumaturgic Dust and, I'm sorry, as long as they bring over Thaumaturgic Dust and Gold, right? Because it gives you a sink for both of those materials, which gives you a sink for way more materials, right? It helps funnel a lot of items out of the game, bringing over these three things. You're deleting so many items and you're adding value to an infinite amount more, right? So I feel like Recombination does hold a place. After the rework, I feel like it is in an okay place. Like it's not as broken as it was previously, unfortunately, but it is still all right. Like I've been playing around with it a little bit and I have been able to force items with like multiple T1 modifiers, right? Or try to get specific modifiers on items relatively easy. So I feel like it does have a place. I'd have to test it a lot more, but I feel like there is a large amount of potential for recombination in the core Path of Exile. I'd say buff it a little bit more since as of right now it is still grabbing bad mods or mutating mods way too often, in my opinion, for like how expensive it is in thaumaturgic dust and gold cost perspectively. But yeah, a little bit of tweaks, and I feel like it would have a solid place. The map devices, while they are my favorite part of SOK, I think they are the best part of SOK. I don't know how they'd be able to actually make these core, right? They're purely tied to the league mechanic itself. You need the workers. I mean, if they set it at like a steady rate, you would be able to funnel just gold into them, but not really, because to get a decent return, you have to have all T9 or T10 workers, which this is the most gold depleting part of SOK, anyways. So I don't know, with the mechanic not going core, how many people would really choose to use this over recombination or the auction house, right? Because the returns are all right, but you can get way better returns if you know what you're doing with recombination and crafting, or the currency exchange, right? And that's pretty much it. The rest of SOK is intrinsically tied to SOK. Miners, farmers, smelters, those are all workers that are directly a part of the SOK league mechanic. The other things that I think could go core, like I mentioned, they're not directly tied to SOK. You can take them out and you can put them in any league and they can operate just fine, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I think is probably going to go core, what might go core, and what might not go core, right? But yeah, tell me how you feel. Do you agree, disagree? How do you feel about SOK? You think it's going to go core or no? But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.